Hey y'all, what's good, what's poppin'? So for today's video, I'm gonna be doing a review on a foundation. So this foundation was recommended to me by a subscriber. So today I'm gonna be reviewing the Flower Beauty Light Illusion foundation. So this is a luminous makeup nude skin feel foundation. It's a medium buildable coverage foundation. It's supposed to give all day wear, gives you broad spectrum SPF 18. So basically this is supposed to be like a daytime wear foundation, and with summer coming up, I've been looking for something to wear for the daytime just to give me a more even look but not make me look cakey or anything like that. And as well, the formula also gives you a luminous finish. They describe it as a dewy but not wet finish, which is something that I'm really into. If y'all have been following the channel for a while, I'm a big fan of having luminous, kind of almost like the glass skin look, if y'all are familiar with that. I'm really excited to try this foundation out, do a full wear test, review, all of that. But before we get into it, I just want to say thank you to all my new subscribers out there. Thank you for clicking that subscribe button and for being here. If you haven't already, just go ahead and click that subscribe button, and as well, make sure you click the bell button so you get a notification every time I upload a new video. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So like I said, this foundation was recommended to me by a subscriber. I've never heard of Flower Beauty. Okay, that's a lie. I've seen the brand at the Ulta in my hometown, like where I used to live, but I moved. I haven't seen it in my local Ulta at all. I went to go pick this up at Walmart, actually. Fun fact about me, I live in Delaware, and for those of y'all who don't know, Delaware doesn't have any sales tax, which is a blessing, when I go out shopping for products like these, because the price you see online is the price I pay. Most other states, y'all are paying sales tax, so sorry. But I was looking at my local Ulta, they didn't have it there. I looked like in all the Walmarts around me in Delaware, they didn't have them at any of them. The nearest one was in Maryland, so it's only like 10 minutes down the road from me, but your boy crossed state lines, I paid sales tax. I was dedicated to this video, so just want to put that out there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read from the website about this foundation. So here's directly what the website has to say about the foundation. So the Light Illusion is a breakthrough foundation that achieves the impossible, provides you with medium to buildable coverage to smooth and perfect while imparting the skin with the most flattering luminosity imaginable. And it claims to have a weightless nude skin feel, covers imperfections and uneven skin tone, and leaves you with a flawless, smooth, and incredibly natural looking complexion, all which we want for a daytime look, especially if we're going to be outside. We're going to have direct sunlight on us. We don't want to be looking unnatural. We want it to have a nice skin-like finish. So one big benefit of this foundation is the foundation does provide broad spectrum SPF 18, and just looking here on the active ingredients list on the back of the foundation, see that this contains octinoxate, which is a chemical sunscreen, as well as titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, both of which are physical sunscreens. So if you have sensitive skin, that is something to keep in mind, that this does contain, one chemical sunscreen ingredient. That being said, it's only in here at 5%, and there's only one. So unless you have super sensitive skin, it shouldn't really be an issue. Personally, I don't have super sensitive skin. I'm actually a big fan of chemical sunscreens because they don't really have the same white cast associated with physical sunscreens. So I like that because, I don't like to look too washed out. I just wanted to point that out. So I picked up the shade Tawny M4, and I don't know if you can see, but it looks like it's going to be a little dark for my complexion. I'm hoping because it's a medium coverage foundation, it's going to sheer out a little bit, and the darkness of the foundation won't be too big of an issue. I wanted to pick up the shade M3 Classic Tan because I felt like that would probably be the closest match to me, just from what I'd seen from swatches online and things like that. And according to the website, it said it was in stock in store, but then when I went in store, they only had M2, which was Soft Sand, or M4, which was Tawny. And, I was going in with the thinking, if it does end up being a little too dark for me, but I like the foundation, with summer's coming up, so I'm going to be a little tanner, so I might as well just buy the darker formula and work with it. So we're going to see how that works. So before I go ahead and apply anything, I just want to say for my base, I did my normal skincare routine. And like I said, normally I would use a chemical sunscreen because they don't have the same white cast issues associated with physical sunscreen. Because this foundation is a predominantly physical sunscreen formula, I decided to go ahead and pair it with a physical sunscreen just because you don't want to mix physical and chemical sunscreens. I'll do a whole video on it, but it just kind of diminishes the effectiveness of the sunscreen. So for my base, I went ahead and used this Volition Prismatic Luminizing Shield SPF 50. So this is a physical sunscreen. It contains zinc oxide, titanium oxide, and octinoxate, which is the same active ingredients as this foundation. They're just found in different concentrations in here. So this provides an SPF 50. This is what I'm relying on for my SPF, because with the foundation, even though it says on the bottle you're gonna get SPF 18, you would have to apply, you know, an unpractical amount of it for you to actually get that, so you're gonna get a lot less than what you get on the bottle, but this does still add some protection. I just wanted to point out that I'm wearing this underneath, and as well as protecting the skin, it does add a luminizing base and give a nice surface for your makeup to apply to. So I went ahead and started with that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and apply the foundation. I'm just gonna go ahead and take an Eco Tools complexion buffer brush. I love how this has a nice flat brush head and it has a nice dense bristle, whatever you would call that, I don't know, but it's nice for buffing products into the skin and giving you a nice even finish. So I'm just gonna do this a pump at a time, build it up and see how it looks. So I got one pump here and I'm just gonna go ahead and dot some of that all over my face and a little bit on my neck as well, and then just buff it in. Okay, so I'm seeing right off the bat this is definitely a little darker than my skin tone, but it's not too bad actually. I think it's kind of workable, and because it is a medium coverage finish, it will sheer out a little bit, so it's not gonna be too off. And I'll blend it down to my neck, so hopefully it won't be too noticeable. I'm not gonna wear any concealer today, so I'm gonna go ahead and try and buff some into that under eye area as well. So that's what one pump is looking like on the skin. As y'all can see, my skin tone is significantly evened out. I do look significantly tanner, obviously, because this is a shade darker than me, but hopefully this will be a nice summer shade though. I am loving how this finishes on the skin. It is nice and seamless. I don't see any trace of the product. It doesn't bunch up, you know, in the corners of my nose, in these little fine lines I have here under my eyes, in the smile lines. It's not really creasing or bunching up or collecting in those areas at all. It's just nice and smooth and very skin-like, like the product advertises. But you know, this is only one pump. I do want to see how this builds up, so I'm going to try another pump and see if it still has the same finish. If it looks a little too cakey, I'll just go ahead and buff it out with a sponge. One thing, if you're a guy that wears makeup and you don't have like a super full beard, I mean mine's like not bad, but it's obviously, you know, not the fullest. You can see the skin underneath. Just go ahead and buff some of the excess into the beard so you don't see the line of demarcation between your face and the foundation. Alright, I think that is sufficiently buffed in with the brush, but I do still have, you know, some areas that aren't really super covered, like right up in here in my under eyes and right in the nose. I'm just gonna go ahead and take a clean side of my makeup sponge and just go ahead and blend that in. Okay, and that is what 2 pumps looks like. My skin tone is significantly evened out and it does have a very luminous finish. It's a glossy finish. It's not a wet or oily finish, you know, it just looks very healthy, like my skin is hydrated, glowing from within, but I definitely don't look like, you know, I haven't seen face wash in a month. It might look a little intense on camera, but that's just because I have the lights coming at me from both sides. Looking here in the mirror, it does just look nice and healthy and luminous. And I'll go ahead and take some videos outside and show y'all what I'm talking about so you can see how natural this looks. As you can see, it didn't completely cover up this spot, and I suspect that has to do more with the texture, but otherwise this foundation covered my spots pretty well. This does give you a nice daytime wear look, I would say. It looks very natural and skin-like, and it does do a good job of covering up a lot of the redness and some of the smaller imperfections, but you do still have some of the bigger imperfections peeking through, so you can go ahead and follow up with a concealer to cover those up, or you could just do what I do and just let them peek through, because I like that natural skin look, and I feel like by having some of them peek through, it still gives the illusion of you not wearing foundation even if you are. So to finish off my base, I'm just going to do my brows real quick, nothing crazy, and then just set it with a setting spray. I'm not going to use a powder or anything because I want to see how this ends up wearing throughout the day, if it gets oily or anything like that, because it is already a luminizing foundation, so I want to see how that wears, but I'm not gonna use a powder because I don't want to mattify it. I'm just gonna take this e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil, and this is in the shade Neutral Brown. I really love this pencil for a natural brow look. It's a nice brunette shade. It's not too warm, but it's also not too cool. It does a nice job of just giving nice hair-like strokes and filling in the sparse areas, but not throwing off the whole brow, because I find when I use a black pencil, it can almost look a little too harsh, but with this, it gives a much softer effect and just makes everything look full without looking, you know, drawn in or anything like that. I do focus a little bit more on the tail end of my brow just because I feel like I do suffer with thickness over there. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and spoolie that through just to blend it out a little bit, make it look a little bit more even. And as you can see, it just gives me a nice natural full brow, but it's still soft. It doesn't look harsh or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's super natural. It looks like this brow just filled in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on this brow. I'm just gonna use this Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel just to set my brows and give them a little bit of a wispy look. And then for my setting spray, I'm just gonna use this Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray to set everything. So I just spritz my face really lightly with that to set everything. You know, my face doesn't drenched with setting spray or anything after that. I just wanna give it a little bit of a spritz to give it a fighting chance to last throughout the day, because I am going to work later, and before that I am gonna play with my dog, try to tire him out a little bit, because, you know, he's gonna miss me. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time outside with him before I go to work, and I'll do a check-in with y'all and see how the foundation wears up, you know, through a little bit of outdoor activity, through a shift, all of that. Currently it is 11:48 a.m. I'll do a check-in with you guys in the middle of the day just to see how this holds up a couple hours in, and then I'll do a check-in with you guys, you know, at the end of the night before I go ahead and wash my face and take off all my makeup, just to see how it wears through a full day of wear. So I'm here to do my little check-in. It's currently 2:40 p.m. so it's been about 3 hours since we've applied the foundation. But before I get into this check-in, I did do 2 photography tests. I did one test where I stepped outside, like basically right after I applied the foundation, and took a picture in direct sunlight, so you could see what this foundation looks like in direct sunlight. So I'll insert that picture right here. And then also, in addition to that, I also did a picture inside with the flash, because this does have zinc oxide in it, which is infamous for giving, you know, kind of that flashback effect. So I wanted to test if it does have a flashback. So I did take a picture of that as well, and I'll insert that here as well. It didn't fail the flashback test. I would say it does have like the tiniest amount of flashback, but I feel like the foundation cancels out the flashback. And I also can't blame it entirely on the foundation, because I'm also wearing a zinc oxide base. So maybe it's that peeking through. I don't know. Now let's go ahead and look at how it's looking on the skin. So sorry the lighting's a little crazy, but as you can see, 3 hours later, it's still sitting very nicely on top of the skin. It's not creasing up. I'm gonna pull a mirror down so I can see it better, because I feel like it's better to see in the mirror for me. So it's not creasing up anywhere. In this under eye area, it's managed to stay pretty crease free. It hasn't creased up at all. And you know, my smile line area or anything like that, my forehead wrinkle sometimes pops out, and that's doing pretty well. Nothing there. I do notice just the tiniest amount of bunching in my nose crease, but that area tends to be the first place for me to crease with foundations. It's just very slight, so I'm not gonna write it off for that either. I was wearing this outside, you know, I played with my dog for a little bit. I didn't break a sweat or anything. I was very intentional not to do that. Besides the bunching deep in the fold in the nose, honestly, it's looking just as good as it applied. It doesn't look any shinier. It still has that nice luminous dewy effect, but it doesn't look greasy or anything like that. So yeah, I'm about to go into work, but I'll do a check-in with you guys later tonight and sit down on my big camera and show you guys how it looks. Hey y'all, so I'm back and I'm ready to do my final check-in right now. Currently it is 10:19 p.m. so it has been about 10.5 hours since we applied the foundation, and I'm here to do my final check-in with y'all and just, you know, show y'all how it wore throughout the day and how we're looking. So I'm gonna go ahead and look at it in the mirror so I can see up close what's going on, because this viewfinder is not gonna cut it. But before I even do that, I can tell y'all, as we can see, definitely this foundation is looking a little shiny by the end of the day. You know, it was a luminous finish foundation, so it's pretty shiny to begin with, but definitely the oil is starting to peek through. Now I did sweat a little bit at work. I really tried my best not to. I'm gonna be honest, I did sweat a little bit at work, couldn't help that. So that definitely is peeking through, but I don't think that would have been a problem if I had used some sort of setting powder, or, you know, if I had blotted throughout the day or anything like that. So with this foundation, I will say a setting powder or blotting powder, setting spray, a mattifying setting spray, whatever you have in your arsenal to keep you looking matte, or at least to control the oil throughout the day, that is going to be necessary for this foundation if you don't want it to be looking too crazy, if you plan to wear it, you know, throughout the day, a long day. Besides the shininess, I'm looking at it right now in the mirror, I don't really see any creasing. You know, I still have that little bit of creasing going on right in the very inner corner of the nose, right where the nose connects with the rest of the face, but otherwise I don't see any creasing anywhere else. It didn't really crease on my smile lines, didn't crease up at all in my forehead, which are the two areas where it tends to crease up for me the most, and as well the little fine lines I have under my eyes as well are creaseless. So wear factor, it seems like, at least as far as, you know, sticking to the skin and not creasing and not bunching up, this foundation does a really good job of that. I don't notice any transferring on my shirt or anything. She didn't come off on any of my clothes from what I noticed. I want to see how much is actually left on there, so I'm going to go ahead and just take a makeup cleansing wipe and just remove half of my face, just to show y'all how much I still actually have, and to, you know, really show you guys what the difference this foundation makes on your skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this side. I think after I remove the foundation, there is still a decent amount left on, so it did wear pretty well throughout the day. And as you can see, there's a pretty obvious line of demarcation, you know, which side does have foundation and which side does not have foundation. These spots right here did peek through, but they're a lot more prominent now. This foundation does do a good job of toning down hyperpigmentation, redness, dark spots spots, anything like that, and evening out the skin tone. If you have really dry, dull skin, you'll definitely benefit from this. Even normal combination or oily skin types, I feel like can definitely work with this as long as, like I said, you're powdering, setting your makeup, your foundation properly. You really shouldn't have an issue with this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take the rest of this off real quick. All right, y'all, that was my review of the Flower Beauty Light Illusion foundation. Thank you to my subscriber that recommended me this product. I really do like how this foundation looks on my skin, and I definitely do think that I'll be wearing this more as the summer months approach, especially because it is a little bit darker than my current skin tone, but definitely it's gonna work out to be a nice summer shade. So I'm definitely looking forward to using this for more summery looks. And with that being said, that's the end of this video, you guys. So thank you for watching. If you haven't already, be sure to go ahead and just give this video a like if you like the video. Also, be sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button, and as well click the bell button so you get a notification every time I upload a new video. Be sure to leave a comment below letting me know what you liked about this video, what you disliked, what kind of videos you want to see me make in the future. You want me to do reviews on certain products, you want me to do a certain look, anything like that. Just leave a comment below letting me know what type of videos y'all want to see. And with that being said, I'll be back shortly with a new video. Bye.